race of Lke Maggoire in the Human Comedy, because it seems to be one that a lot of people struggle with. So I thought I'd just do the race. So here we go. I'm in the Porsche 911 GT3R 992. Here we go. So enter. It's a BOP race, so you can't do any settings. I use manual gears, and I don't use any assists apart from ABS on weak. Just wait for the PS4 to load. I do appreciate it's a bit slower than the PS5. So during the race I'll sort of talk through bits, what I'm doing, how I'm controlling the car, lines I'm taking, braking markers, when I'm lifting and coasting. These fuel restricted races are, it's quite important to lift and coast where possible and save fuel. So we go straight in. Don't rush to overtake the AI opponents in this, I find. Try and race cleanly, even if they don't seem to be. So I'm leaving space on my right hand side there. Let's have a look at my fuel map. So fuel map 1, sending me 16 laps of fuel at the moment, but for this race you want to pit just once, about halfway in the race, so we get to the 30-minute marker, so keep an eye on the time left at the top. Got a good run on these cars here. Oh, running out of room, off the track. There we go. Got past. So in the 6th, and I'm going to lift and coast quite early here on the back straight, and try and cut this corner here. Oh, been overtaken, but I'm going to get him on the exit. There we go. These two corners here are flat out. Let's try and get the nice smooth racing line to minimise tyre wear. 5th, off the throttle and brake, that last marker board. Just tickling the throttle there, and back on full power. Off the throttle, hitting the brakes just towards the end of that apex curb. Back on power here early, you can go over that white line a little bit there. Into 5th. And I'm going to lift and coast about here and brake just before I get to that last marker board over the top. And down into 1st. Try and keep this one quite tight if you can. Be a bit careful of the wheel spin on the exit, you don't want to wear out the rear tyres. Throttle and the brakes. Turn in on the power. You can run that corner quite wide there, still stay within track limits. As long as your car's still in contact to the curbing at the edge of the track on the corner, you're still within track limits. So I'm just going to hit the brakes just about halfway along that curve, just dabbling the brakes. Try and cut these corners as much as you can, straight lining it, and you really get a good run on the AI opponents. Here we go. Generally speaking, I find that when you're overtaking the AI opponents, if you can get them off racing line, they're generally making a mistake. So off the throttle here, hitting the brakes at the last marker board. Didn't cut that as much as I'd like. Smooth racing line. And off the throttle. each time you lift and coast you save a small amount of fuel, which over the course of the race can get you an extra couple of laps. It doesn't really cost you much time, particularly if you do it only at the end of the straights. Off the throttle. I'm not going to catch that Viper before the end of this straight. Oh sorry, it's a GT40. Lovely racing line that. Off the throttle, brakes down into third. Ooh. Nearly collected the back of that GT there. Into fourth. Do you find that at the AI? They do sometimes seem to brake quite erratically early. It's good not to be in line with them if you can avoid it, so doesn't catch you out when they do. Seem to almost brake check you. So sort of pull out here as I'm approaching the braking zone exactly for that reason. Throttle nice and early there. A little safety lift there so I didn't go into the back of the other car. Now have him on the inside here I think. Oh no, he's turned in. Have him on the inside of the next one. But then that will put me on the outside of the next corner. I've done him. It's behind me now, I can see in the interior mirror. Brakes. Cut that corner a little bit more there. It's really aimed to get on that apex curb on the inside. Comment there. Someone saying you really need to get good at this game. Well, it's practice, my friends. Watch a lot of the online tutorials, a lot of people do. A lot of good tips on there. But a lot of it is learning the tracks, learning the braking markers. Doing a circuit experience. It's definitely more fun when you're getting good at it. If you're struggling and crashing all the time, it does get a bit frustrating, this kind of game. Oh, there we go. Nearly overcooked that chicane. And off the throttle, hit the brakes. Trail braking in a little bit now. Trail braking's when you're braking just at the end of the braking zone and you're starting to turn and using the brakes to kind of assist your rotation on the turn in. It's a delicate art and you've got to steer just the right amount in unison with the braking. So you can just see my braking bar there as I'm turning in. Braking bar's on the left of the throttle. Sorry, the left of the display of Rose and fuel map. There we go, cutting out nicely there. So just opening the steering, getting onto that white line on the exit. Throttle, hit the brakes. On the subject of getting good at this game, really try and get used to driving with no assists, because that will really help you improve your feel of the cars when it's starting to slip. If if you always drive with assist on, you'll never gain that skill. Hitting the brakes. 51 minutes, I've got 20 minutes before I can pit really. Good run on that AI opponent there. Getting his slipstream. And 6th. But I don't want him to brake check me, I'm off the throttle now. Brakes. Go past him on the inside. He might be on my outside, he is a little bit there, so I'll just give him a bit of space. It's behind me now. One tool you can use to see where they are is the radar. I'll show you how to use that in a second. There's the radar, so I can see there the opponent just behind me. Just dabbing the brake a little bit there to get it to turn in. Oh, he's trying to T-bone me. In this human comedy, the AI do play dirty, so you've got to give them a bit of space and watch out for them. This is my first live broadcast, so might be some teething troubles here with it here and there. I think my microphone's a bit glitchy. Of course, all these AI opponents are all on different strategies, so I'm using, well, racing hard tyres. I was meant to be on mediums, so I'm struggling. I'll stick it on mediums at the pits. Hope I can still win this race. I'm getting about 2 minutes a lap. That'll be right. Rushed into the live broadcast a bit there, I think. To win this race, you really need to be getting 2 minute lap times. It's okay to get a few 2 minute ones, try and balance out some 1:59s. The hard tyres be more consistent over the stint. Racing mediums are quick at the beginning and in the middle part, but at the end they do tend to start to suffer a bit. A bit funny there, a bit crackly. I think I've got a bit of a loose connection in my microphone. So I'm 17 seconds off the lead at the moment. So they will, some of those will likely pit a lot earlier than I will and do a two-stop strategy, which is not going to win them this race, usually anyway. Tyre wear's looking fairly consistent. Something to have a look at in these races. If you're starting wearing your rear tyres faster than your fronts, you want to look at your driving, and sometimes adjusting your brake bias can help if you can, if you can't in this particular race. Or just be a bit more careful in the way you use the throttle or the brakes, be more gentle on it. They're fairly consistent movement, so it's alright. The last lap was 2:03, but the one before was 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's alright. Currently running in 5th. 17 seconds off the lead. Throttle. Nine laps of fuel left, so you do have to do a bit of maths during your racing of these kind of races. So 42 minutes left of the race. Bit of a short shift there to help with my understeer I was developing. Slipstream this, you might be able to do this at the end of the straight. Double overtake going on here. And we're going to not lifting coast to this one. Oh no! Our AI is dirty. Right, let's recover some ground. I was being a bit too optimistic with that overtake. You can usually afford one crash or spin during this race and still win. I'm now 25 seconds off the lead. The tyres are wearing nicely. Lap 10. It's usually lap 15 you pit with this. Cost me 7 seconds in that spin. Pushing a bit harder now to try and recover some of that time. Plenty of fuel. I've got 7.5 laps to do 5 laps worth, so no point lifting and coasting for the minute. May as well burn the fuel and save a bit of weight on the car as well. I find that as the fuel burns down, the car does get a little bit more agile. There you go, got some of those pitters pitting lap 10, so they're, to make 30 laps they're going to have to pit twice. Back up to 5th. Short shifting there just to manage my wheel spin. Bit of a lift into this corner there, turn 2. Using the gears to help slow me there. Bit of a wheel spin on the exit there, so I just dipped the throttle and turned into the skid. We're only 6 seconds off the lead. Gone purple in that first sector. This Porsche does feel a bit underpowered up this hill. It's got good fuel economy and tyre wear. It's a good car to use. It's quite good in the high speed corners. Just trail braking now on the entrance to that corner. Trail braking will enable you to brake that a little bit later. Picked up the throttle there, lovely. Catching that pack of cars ahead. Six laps of fuel remaining. Let's do 3 laps. Nicely there. Beautiful. It's going to be a good run on these cars. Turned in slightly late. I was a bit nervous to turn in sooner in case the other car turned in on me or got alongside. Just having a brief look now on the braking zone, but didn't want a repeat of a few laps ago. I think I can have it on here on the inside. Oh, it's still up here, it's still turned in on me. You have to get your elbows out a little bit with these AI cars sometimes. Oh, purple in the second sector. I'll break myself a little bit there, a bit more pitters. Moving me up to third. Missed out on the fastest lap there in the last sector. Tyres half worn. It's fine to do another 2 laps. Inside, hope he doesn't get me. Just trying to leave room on my right hand side there, but it didn't mean I had to lift for to make the corner. It didn't seem to cost me too much time. A good run on the first position there. I'll try and have on the inside of this turn. There we go. Lovely. Into the lead. Fraga must have had a stunning sector 3. If I can get purple sectors on sector 1 and 2, but then still end up 2 seconds behind his fastest lap. I think as I've started on hards, I'm going to go an extra lap as I've got the fuel to do it before I go on to mediums. So my mediums aren't as ruined at the end of the stint. It's a bit wide there. Not too bad. Someone's beaten Fraga's time on 59.4. What do we think about pitting then? We're half an hour in. Let's do it, let's get on the mediums. So I want 15 laps of fuel. I don't want to be carrying any more than I have to. I do want a little margin for error. If I fill it up to 15.5 laps, it does take forever to fuel on this human comedy race. That's why you only want to be pitting once. So I'm going to drop some positions in the pits, but it's alright. This is an AI all pit, or some of them pit every 10 laps. So just to be patient, try not to make mistakes, try not to get taken out. There you go, 15.5 laps. Let's go. Should have a bit more grip in these corners. Inside. He's still there, I'm not going to move over. I have to compromise my entry a little bit. It's alright, go on. Beautiful. So a bit of lift in case, make sure my fuel lasts the distance. There's that crackly microphone again. Just the cable a bit, so if it's, there we go. Really nice exit then. Bit of a oversteer on the exit, the mid corner of that chicane then. Compromised the last corner. Slipstream of this AI opponent. And there's the fastest lap. But slipstream for sure helped with that. But still haven't passed him. Here we go, on it. All the time I'm fighting with him. I'm compromising my racing lines and losing race time. Out of the slipstream and I drop back. I suppose there's a double slipstream effect going on there. Lovely. Just going to stay off the racing line a little bit here so they don't slipstream me. On the fuel, 11.7 laps. It's on target. Tyres wearing okay. Have been pushing quite hard the last few laps. Might just need to rein that in a little bit. I'd like to get into the lead before I settle that down. Outside, bit of a risky one that one. Oh, I got a penalty. Must have just been outside track limits doing that. So it'll only be half a second, that won't affect me much. Take that on the next lap. If any of you are finding this race difficult, it's just to go and do the circuit experience and really nail the racing lines. For me, I find doing the online time trials the best for honing my skills. Gonna make me slow down a little bit here. 4 seconds in the lead. Someone's had my fastest lap. Oh well. Just over the race distance rather than over one lap. So 21 laps, 16 minutes to go. Gallo is catching me, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because I'm sure that car's going to pit again. So even if it does pass me, I'll repass it in the pits. What the lap time's like, 1 minute 59, 1 minute 59, 2 minutes. So that's all looking okay, hopefully should make up for losing the 7 seconds earlier on. stabilising to Gallo, and someone's in the pits, 3rd position. Last lap 2 minutes 1, it's fine. Do keep missing at apex a little bit on that turn. My tyres are looking, front's wearing faster than the rears, so I can afford to be a little bit more aggressive on the throttle. I should probably be a bit more careful of my steering. If I can adjust my brake bars, I'll be putting it rearward. What I'll do to manage the tyre wear is just reduce my trail braking, try and brake more in a straight line, because otherwise you're asking braking and steering of the front tyres. Blue flags here to lap 20th position. Ooh. Thought I was going to clear that then, I'm sure it turned into my path. Up to that 19th place, see if we can pass this one a bit more cleanly. Slow right down, let me past, okay, cool. Gap to Gallo is 4 seconds, so I'm increasing the gap. It's not pitted yet. I wonder if sometimes find the AI adapts their strategy to how you're racing, so he's obviously realised I'm not pitting again. He's maybe trying to save fuel. Using the gears there to help control my speed through the bend, so I had overcooked it a little bit. There we go, Scallo's in the pits now, so I should have a nice healthy lead. Get to that apex a bit more tidily. That's better. Oh, a bit of an oversteer. So 26 seconds lead. Nice. So what I'm going to try and do now is just bring it home. Got 10 minutes left. So a little bit of lifting coast. Tyres are half worn, let's just look after them. which I do find hard to do because I have this compulsion just to push hard. Lap times are pretty stable on 2 minutes, 2 minutes 1, most of them are 2 minutes. Fuel, we've got 5.7 laps remaining. Keep on fuel map 1 for this race, no need to use lower fuel maps. Actually, I generally find lifting and coasting is more effective. You get overall better race time by being quicker out the corners and then lifting and coasting at the end of the straights. We've got about 4 laps left. You can often do a downshift just as you're turning in. It'll just help the back end to have that tiny bit of slip just to help with rotation. Usually good if combined with trail braking. I'll show you on this turn here. So we use second gear on a turn in. So on a brake, 4, 3, 2. It just helps a bit of rotation. Probably wasn't the best example on that one. It's easier to show on the sharper turns. I usually time my last downshift when I just start to turn in. If you're not using manual gears, I strongly recommend to start trying to train yourself how to use them. Sure, this car has been blue flagged as defending here. Seems to be right on the racing line. Tyres are going to be pretty much done at the end of this race. front left's the one that's going to go first. So I think I might just be a bit more careful. Go around these right hand turns a little bit slower, just to protect that tyre over the next couple of laps. I've got a 30-second lead after all, so I'm off the throttle. Just protect that front left tyre. I don't want to get to the point where it's completely gone, because you just have no grip whatsoever. Again, just to protect that front left tyre a little. Just bring it home. We've got a very healthy lead. They don't appear to be catching me much unless I drive slower. So right hand turn, just off the throttle. Just trying to steer as efficiently as I can without moving the joystick too much. I'd love to have a really nice sim setup, but it's just not possible in my household. It also costs a lot of money. But if Logitech or any of the other top brands would like to give me one, then I'd be happy to try it out. So lap 29, 2 minutes left, so lap 30 will be my last lap, I'm sure. Definitely starting to feel the tyre wear now. So is it quicker on racing hards or racing mediums? It's hard to know, because racing hards were quite consistent, but that's maybe a half a second or a second slower. You can get faster ultimate lap time on the softer tyres, of course, but then as they start to wear through the stint, you end up going slower towards the end of the stint, so maybe it is quicker on racing hards. One of my goals for this live race was because the PS4 will only record up to a maximum of an hour, so just showing a replay of this wouldn't be sufficient, because I'd have to cut off either the beginning or the end. But I thought if I do the live, it'll have the whole thing on YouTube and you guys can go back and have a look through it when you want. So final lap now. Definitely feeding that front left tyre wear. Starting to really understeer on that long right hand corner. "25 seconds in the lead." Fuel's perfect, 0.9 laps left, small margin of error. I absolutely had to do an extra lap. You can turn the fuel map down and do a lot of lifting coast. Easily get another lap out of that. Right front left. And there you have it, human comedy, Lke Maggoire, easy win using the Porsche. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.